Welcome to another in our Indie Impressions series. We've worked with an amazing group of developers via our Indie Fund last year to create some of the launch titles for Crayta, and we wanted you to hear directly from them about their experiences using it for the first time. This time we ask, how did you find Crayta when it came to prototyping your ideas and getting your game up and running?
It's very straightforward. I mean, mine is a very simple game, so basically I picked a template game that was there that did most of what I wanted, so I basically took the deathmatch template, which gave me characters with guns, which is pretty much all I needed. I took out the deathmatch scoring and basically went from there. I started tweaking the guns so they did what I want. I needed gravity gun functionality and things like that. Just so easy to grab something that was already doing about 80% of what I wanted it to do, and then just tweak it to move on. And there's also a load of packages available that often filled in the gaps of what I needed as well. So yeah, super easy.
In terms of prototyping, it was extremely quick to get started on this project. I was building tracks for the game pretty much from day one, and with the assets that are included in Crayta, I was able to put like little scenarios together very, very quickly. Given that we had a one-button control system as a goal for this project from the very beginning, I made sure when I was testing levels, I was always holding down the W move forward key, so there'd be a smooth transition when that feature was implemented, and yeah, I think it's paid off.
So yeah, we got Crayta up and running straight away. We got offered to pitch for a game, and along with that, we got access to the technology, and so we spent an afternoon diving into Crayta, loading it up, and it was a very familiar environment straight away. If anybody's used any other tools, that kind of see the similarities between this and systems that they're already familiar with. And what we were able to do is actually start ideating some thoughts into game designs, and then testing those assumptions out almost instantly. We're using the suite of tools and the available content that was given to us. So the environment, like the ice environment, so we could make a desert environment, all those features and themes were built into Crayta to allow us to start quickly playing through with ideas and visualizing what we're trying to think of.
Just to add to that, I think in short, I don't think there's any way that we would have been able to do what we did in the time that we had if it wasn't for what Crayta provided out of the box. And I think also the ability for us to collaborate together in world, in the map, and actually be on there together and see each other building things and being able to riff off of one another as we're working on the game was really, really amazing to be able to experience that.
It felt really, I think accommodating is the right word to say here, because a lot of the times when you're starting to prototype something new in an engine that there's a lot of things that you need to set up and get things in place before you can actually start seeing something in action. But with Crayta, we were getting something playable, even like basic mechanics and trying things out, playable within a very short time frame and being able to iterate them on them very quickly. So from that point of view, like iteration actually being able to work quickly was a real plus for us.
Yeah, and I think as well, like for these games, the projects were quite small and tight teams, and often you can start with an idea and you go a very long way before you realise that something, a decision you've made, or be it technical or gameplay sort of oriented decision, you go, this thing that we did weeks ago is coming to bite us in the butt. But with Crayta, I think it was very quick to sort of point out, where you could push and where you shouldn't. It was kind of like there was a nice sort of safety net there, I suppose, like inherent to the tools, and that just meant we were able to make really good decisions really quickly and really early.
Yeah, the prototyping process was fairly streamlined, so I think the core of the game was pretty much up and running within the first day that I kind of spent on this. Obviously, there's a sort of a brief exploratory period of getting my hands dirty and kind of like playing around with the editor and then playing around with the code editor, looking at the assets and such. But when I actually started getting to grips with it and tearing apart the the example content that was provided, it didn't take very long to really kind of adjust what was pre-provided, and then kind of inject the custom functionality that you wanted to actually achieve your completely own spin on the game that was there. So it was incredibly simple to actually get started there, which was really nice.
It was surprisingly quick to try out new ideas, actually, which is always great. If you've got an idea for a prototype, you want to just try it out and make sure it works. We always say, one of our mantras, we always say at Viewpoint, fail fast. And in order to kind of prototype something in game, Crayta was ideal to do that. Especially when you don't need to rely on networking to create a multiplayer game, in seconds, really.
Huge thanks to all our amazing Indie Fund developers for giving us their thoughts and for creating a fantastic array of games, which you'll be able to play from July the 1st exclusively on Stadia. In the meantime though, check out the rest of our Indie Impressions series to hear some of their other thoughts, and make sure you take a look at all their games too in our Creator Showcase series. And remember to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with all the Crayta news and get alerts for our twice weekly live streams.